What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk more about Visconti. So in a video, maybe not the last video, maybe the one before that, I did a video about my new Visconti Homo sapiens, and I got it and it was awesome. The nib was a little wonky and I had to kind of fix it up, but it's great now. I absolutely love it. The pen is awesome. I've been using it a bunch, so I've got the normal Visconti Homo sapiens Bronze Age, and it is fantastic. That's actually not my first Visconti though. I actually got a steel nib Visconti first. And so one of the things I was thinking about was people think immediately of the Bronze Age, and that's a really expensive pen. So on the more reasonable side of things, there are a couple of options with steel nibs. Are they any good? And so I wanted to see, because I've got a couple other Italian pens with steel nibs. I've got a Monograppa Elmo 1 and I've got a Leonardo Momento Zero, and I love both of those. So how does the Visconti steel nib pens, how do they hold up in that situation? So I got one for me and I got one for my wife. I got the Visconti Mirage Mythos in the Poseidon colorway. So we'll talk about this one first. This one is, it's a steel nib pen. It's got a Schmidt nib in it. So it's got a German nib. The design of this pen is phenomenal. I absolutely love it. I love the fact that we've got the normal Visconti clip, although it's in like a stainless steel with this kind of end over wrap design, which is really, really cool. I like the brushed look of it. I like the band around the cap. I think that's very cool. It says Mythos on it, and it's got the Visconti V, and it's got the mountains on there. I think that's really, really neat. But on this particular pen, it's kind of this charcoal color, so I like that kind of understated look of it. The blues and greens that are on this pen are really pretty. There's a Visconti V on the end finial down here, and that serves a purpose because this pen is actually magnetically capped. So this is how it closes. When you look at this magnet though, you can notice this magnetic cap, you can notice that it doesn't turn. And that is because they want these facets on the side, or these kind of flutes on the side of the pen to line up. So what they do is they put a little notch in here, and there's a little nib that sticks out on the inside of the cap, so that if you don't put the cap on it straight, you just kind of give it a little twist and it pops in, because it makes it to where it doesn't twist around, which I really like. I think that's really cool. The magnet is enough. It works awesome. And then it also magnets to post. This leads me to the only thing I don't really like about this pen, and that is how it posts. So because we've got these three facets on the pen here, it posts inside the cap and it only posts a couple of ways. But because the design of the taper of the inside of the cap and the taper of the outside of the pen, it's kind of, it doesn't, first of all, it doesn't really post very well. Like, it clicks on there, but it's just sort of, and it's really wiggly. So when you write with it, it's just, I just don't like it. You can kind of feel it rattling against your, you know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't know, it just doesn't mate up correctly in there for my tastes anyway. I mean, it looks nice when it's posted, but it just, to me, it doesn't function the way I would want a posting pen to function. That being said, we need to talk about this. This pen might be one of my favorite nibs in the house. This Schmidt nib, I got it in a medium. It is so wet and so smooth. I've used it empty a couple of times in the last 2 or 3 weeks since I've had this pen, because I'm writing with it so much. I absolutely love it. And it uses a lot of ink because it lays a bunch of ink down. But man, it's so nice. If you're going to use it with some kind of sheening or shimmering ink, it would be awesome. I guess I should have mentioned that it's also a cartridge converter pen, and it comes with a Visconti branded cartridge in there, converter in there. But it's awesome. This thing is absolutely killer. The section has got like a matte feel to it, and the little V's down here at the end of the section make it to where you don't like slip off the end of the section, right? Some of these Italian pens and some of the kind of quote unquote fancier pens have like a shiny section to them. You can kind of slip off the end, or you can kind of forget where you are because it's so smooth and doesn't give you any reference. But oh my goodness, I absolutely love it. And you see it's not a huge pen. It's just a medium-sized, normal-sized pen. It's not heavy, even though it's got some metal in it. It's got a nice balance to it, but good grief, that nib is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I got this at Atlas Stationers on some sort of last chance or clearance thing. You might want to check it out because they may still have some in a couple of different colors. So atlasstationers.com, and then you could use Dylan10 to get 10% off. This is one of my favorite pens. Absolutely one of my favorite pens. So this is the one I got for me. It's steel nib Visconti. I think it's cool. But we're going to go do a two for today because I also got a Visconti Rembrandt for Leslie. I think this is a little more expensive than that one. It's finished differently. It's got a polished clip, maybe like a dark ruthenium kind of finish to it. It's just a completely different shape, right? And this is kind of a little bit different design. So it's a cartridge converter pen, just like the other one. I don't know if this is a Visconti nib or if this is a, I don't know what nib this is. Who makes the nib that's in this. I think it might be a Visconti nib. Now this one does have kind of a shinier section to it, but it has this little kind of ridge down at the end that kind of keeps you on the section. It's kind of nice. Same kind of medium size pen, and it posts nicely. It feels good. The only thing with Visconti pens when you post them is because this clip is kind of heavy, it does backweight the pen a little bit. But this one caps like that. Now this one doesn't have those little nubs in there, so you can actually spin it around if you want. But it posts nice, right? Like it doesn't just pop off of there. It posts nice. It seals up well. And this one, because Leslie likes broad nibs, we got a broad nib on this pen. And again, super wet, super smooth. I guess the point of me making this video is if you want to try the Visconti sort of feel and sort of look at a more reasonable amount of money, they're not going to have the flex and the bounce of the Visconti gold nibs. And Viscontis don't really have flex, but they do kind of have a bounce to them. The Homo sapiens kind of has a nice bounce to it when you write with it. It's kind of nice. This doesn't have that, but they both of these pens with steel nibs have excellent smoothness. No tuning necessary. The quality was fantastic. Excellent smoothness. Really wet. These are probably some of the wettest steel nibs that we have in the house. Between my collection, Leslie's collection, and Brianna's collection, I would say these are probably two of the wettest steel nibs possible that we have, and they're phenomenal. I'll leave links to both of these pens in the description at Atlas Stationers. If you want to try them out, please do so. If you use those links, it does help out the channel a little bit, and that's actually how I got this pen, so we could share it with you. Anyway, there's a little kind of low end versus high end of Visconti stuff. I think you should try these. Like I said, if you want to get into that kind of Italian feel. Now, another video I want to do, and let me know if you think this is a good idea. I've got two steel nib Viscontis. I've got a Pineider with a steel nib. I've got that Leonardo with a steel nib, and I've got a, what's the other one? Oh, I've got a Monograppa with a steel nib. So I thought what I would do maybe is like a steel nib Italian pen shootout of all the steel Italian pens that I have. I know there's other brands that I don't have, but with the ones that I do have, I think I'm going to kind of do a shootout of those and see what are the nicest pens. They're all about the same price range, give or take, depending on when you get one on sale or not. They're all steel nibs, but they're all very high quality pens, and so maybe we'll do a shootout between all of my Italian pens. Let me know if you want to do that. Get in the comments below. Let me know what you think of some of these Italian steel nibs, and let me know if this is something that you would try. I know some people don't like spending the money on the higher end Visconti stuff because they're worried about the reliability of the nib. I don't think you have to worry about that with this. especially the Mythos because it's a German nib, so a Schmidt nib. So I don't know. I think they're worth it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll talk to you in the next video. Oh yeah, like and subscribe and stuff, and do all that.